how did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their source.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Diddy sent those to 50?
Diddy is like funeral flowers.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt. My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
There are no misconceptions about me.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Jay's definitely.
Jay helped you?
Yeah.
How did you
As a competitor.
explain it?
Yeah, because he never was someone that you communicate with that you're like friends with the person. But I always respected him because he was never an actual competitor in actual fact. He was someone who was a competitor through perception.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z.
And B was, one time she jumped off of the ledge. Came running over because she thought me and Jay had issues, and I was like, what the? And I was like, did she really just jump down and run over here like that?
Beyonce jumped off a ledge.
Yeah, what happened? It was in the Cosmopolitan, huh?
She really a superhero.
She jumped down and no, she was like, this what? Like that Bonnie and Clyde for real? You try this or what, boy? I'm here.
Word.
She down like at me. She looked, I said,
was Solange with her?
She looked at me like that. I was like, what?
A new storm is brewing. Music. One that ties together old rumors, recent scandals, and accusations long buried. At the center of it all stands 50 Cent, a man who has spent the last 2 decades publicly calling out people he believes are protected by the entertainment industry. One of those names has always been Diddy. But now, according to 50, the story doesn't end with a single mogul. This time he's suggesting that the next wave of revelation stretches far beyond Diddy, reaching into the worlds of Jay-Z, Beyonce, and even Oprah Winfrey. 3 of the most powerful and influential figures in modern entertainment. Names that have circulated in whispers for years, but were never directly challenged until now. The spark came when 50 Cent hinted that he's sitting on new explosive footage connected to the same inner circle tied to the Diddy scandal. He teased that the documentary centered on Sean Combs was only the first chapter. Then he posted a message that instantly went viral, echoing across social media. "You're next." Fans immediately connected the dots. Many believe the message was aimed straight at Jay-Z and Beyonce. The questions followed fast. Why them? Why now? And why immediately after the release of the Diddy documentary? The answer, according to long-time speculation, lies in a tightly guarded inner circle within the entertainment industry, one protected for years by wealth, secrecy, and powerful alliances. Music. When the Netflix documentary on Diddy dropped, viewers began pointing out how close Jay-Z and Diddy had been for decades. Music from business ventures to private parties, their circles frequently overlapped. Beyonce moved within the same elite spaces. Rock Nation events, Grammy backrooms, exclusive industry gatherings. The same names appeared again and again. Now music, 50 Cent is hinting that anyone connected to Diddy may no longer be untouchable as old tapes, evidence, and stories are being re-examined by the public. And if he's telling the truth, this may only be the beginning.
These were private conversations, and that he and Diddy could talk openly. And Mark could talk to Diddy, not just as a client, but as a person, and try to guide him in a time leading up to his arrest. And unbeknownst to Mark Agnifilo, Diddy has got this guy recording the conversation as he's sitting there saying, "You are screwing this up. You are messing up this case. We're losing." And knowing that that's on tape, and it's almost like he's performing for the camera and not telling Mark what's going on. And the really enraging part about it is that Mark Agnifilo won this case for Diddy with legal strategy. It wasn't just an accident that this jury that had heard all of this in the news before the trial voted not guilty on all the serious charges. It was Mark Agnifilo that did that. Yet Diddy secretly records this guy and embarrasses him. And yeah, you could say, well, Diddy never expected that it would end up being broadcast somewhere else. Well, okay, but Diddy was planning on using it, or he wouldn't have had it recorded in the first place. So it's just really, really unfair. And I know that in a way this sounds crazy, that I'm getting so upset about Diddy, and yet there's video of Diddy beating Cassie. Well, that's horrendous, but that doesn't mean you can't look at something else as well. And I just think, as a lawyer, I just think this is just so outrageous that he would do something like this, and not even understanding what Agnifilo's legal theory was. Because I will tell you that when we did our first documentary on Diddy, which was 8 months before the trial, Mark Agnifilo said to me on camera that he is going to tell this jury that this was a successful black man that prosecutors were trying to take down because they couldn't get into his bank accounts because they were clean, and he couldn't deal with they couldn't deal with taxes because he wasn't committing tax fraud. So they go into his bedroom. And that's what Mark Agnifilo said 8 months before. And he goes into the trial and he essentially wins that argument, whether you believe it or not. A jury that sat through the whole thing, they believed it, and ultimately they convicted him on this BS Mann Act thing. So Diddy won that case. And one of the reasons he won the case is something that Agnifilo got criticized for. That when he did the documentary with me, he was making a joke about the baby oil. Remember, he said, oh, well, you know, I didn't know he bought in bulk. He must have bought 1,000 bottles at Costco. And a lot of people just slammed him for that and said, how dare you? You're being disrespectful. The baby oil is the smoking gun in this case. Agnifilo knew all along that the baby oil was Diddy's best defense. Because when Agnifilo got before that jury in closing arguments, he looked at them and he said, well, the feds came in with their armor and artillery and guns. And what did they do? They got 1,000 bottles of baby oil off the streets. Ooh, he said, the streets are safer now. And the jury laughed. And that laugh told Agnifilo he should keep going on that. And that the trial itself was absurd because the baby oil was really the punchline.
Fans also remembered that 50 Cent had previously accused Jay-Z of protecting certain inner circles in Hollywood. Many linked this to 50's long-standing claims that powerful figures quietly shield one another behind the scenes. Now that tension feels louder than ever because 50 has proven he's willing to put everything on camera. Music, he already pulled back the curtain on Diddy's private life in a documentary that reached audiences around the world. So when he said, "Your music next," people didn't brush it off as empty talk. They took it seriously. To understand why that warning carries weight, you have to look at the long history between 50 Cent and Jay-Z, a rivalry that dates back to the early 2000s. From the very beginning, their relationship was competitive. Jay-Z allegedly tried to slow 50's rise by discouraging industry figures from working with him. He even referenced 50 during his Summer Jam freestyle, warning him not to push too far. 50 took that personally, and from that moment on the tension never disappeared. As time passed, their careers grew in completely different directions. Music Jay-Z became the quiet billionaire operating behind the scenes, controlling brands, award shows, sports deals, luxury partnerships, political connections, and elite social circles. Meanwhile, 50 Cent became the loud disruptor, building his empire through television, business ventures, and direct public callouts. Music, they represent two very different forms of power. Jay-Z maintains influence through silence. 50 Cent gains influence by speaking out. And that's why when 50 Cent hints at exposing something, people pay attention because history, music, has shown that he doesn't hold back.
His sights on someone new after the Diddy Netflix documentary. If you aren't aware, 50 Cent has been getting insane feedback from the Netflix documentary he made on Diddy. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is what it's called, and it's #1 all over Netflix, beating even Stranger Things. Diddy himself has responded to it, saying the stories are false, of course, denying everything, and even trying to do a cease and desist on the Netflix documentary. And after this Diddy documentary, a lot of people have been wondering who's the next person that deserves to get exposed. And Jay-Z is the one that a lot of people are pointing their finger at. And the reason why Jay-Z has been getting a lot of this type of backlash is because Jay-Z was really close to Diddy. At one point, Diddy was even calling him his brother, and that Jay-Z's the only one that can call him his real name, Sean. That maybe there's something on Jay-Z's side that has been going on behind the scenes. Now, there hasn't been any solid proof yet, but Nicki Minaj has been going at Jay-Z for quite some time, talking about Jay-Z is manipulative and he steals, and he's been pushing a narrative, and that Roc Nation has control and power over a lot of things. And I can kind of understand where she's coming from to a certain extent. We got to remember when Jay-Z went up on the Grammy stage and said Beyonce never won Album of the Year and complained about that, literally the following year, Beyonce wins Album of the Year, which is just something like, if that doesn't show you that there is some power going on there, that there is something behind the scenes that Jay-Z controls, it's clear as day that it's all politics on who wins Grammys, you know, who gets the better light and things. So that kind of opened my eyes, you know, as to Roc Nation's power and how they manipulate things in the media. I'll never forget Jay-Z would get this like special treatment all the time when it comes to the media. I mean, Hot 97, when they interviewed Jay-Z, they literally rolled out a red carpet. They never did that for any other artist. So Jay-Z's always had this kind of special treatment when it came to things. But now the question is Jay-Z involved in crazier things? I mean, there's been a lot of speculation in a lot of different ways, and people are pointing their attention towards 50 Cent wanting him to do a Jay-Z documentary. And it looks like he might actually do it, because on Instagram, he posted a drawing of Jay-Z that kind of makes fun of his looks. And he posted that photo and he said this in the caption: "Please stop sending me stuff like this. I'm not going to post it." Basically making a joke, you know, because obviously he posted it on his social media. But, and here's the interesting but in this, is someone commented on the post, and the comment got liked by 50 Cent. And this is the comment. It's from Dom KMDA. I hope I pronounced that right, Dom Kamada. He commented saying, "My only question, he's next, isn't he?" And 50 ended up liking that comment. And here's the thing. I actually saw this on Twitter and X, you know, whatever, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to confirm, is this real? Because a lot of people Photoshop these type of things just to create drama and create this speculation. So I actually DM'd the guy himself, and I showed him the photo, and I asked him, "Hey, is this a real photo? Did 50 like your comment?" He said, "Hey, yes, he did." And I was like, perfect. Thank you for confirming. Thought it was Photoshopped. Well, appreciate the response. And he said, "I was surprised as well. Didn't see that coming." So shout out to him for, you know, responding to my DM and confirming that, you know, the comment actually got liked by 50, because, you know, a lot of people Photoshop and spread narratives. So me being the proper journalist, or whatever you want to call me, news reporter, I, you know, wanted to go get to the source and see if it was actually real. There is also something that's very interesting that went over a lot of people's heads, and that's the documentary coming out on December 2nd. That Diddy documentary coming out on that date. Literally 2 days later, you have Jay-Z's birthday, December 4th, which to me sends a subliminal message to Jay-Z that you're next. So that's crazy. That just, to me, you know, shows that 50 is potentially gonna work on something going at Jay-Z, and he might get Nicki Minaj involved, because Nicki Minaj has a huge issue with Jay-Z with a lot of things, and I don't even know the full details of that, because she's gone at Jay-Z for...
As the years passed, Jay-Z continued aligning himself with other powerful figures in entertainment. Music that included Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, and individuals connected to massive corporate and media networks. Music, and every time 50 Cent noticed something he believed was being quietly covered up, he reacted in his own way through sarcasm, mockery, or cryptic social media posts. But he had never done this before. For the first time, 50 Cent directly warned Jay-Z, suggesting that he may be in possession of footage or material that could impact Music the Carters. Fans immediately saw this as a major shift. That's because 50 doesn't have a reputation for bluffing. When he claims to have documents, recordings, or a story, he usually follows through. And that's exactly why Jay-Z and Beyonce suddenly became the focus of intense online speculation. Music, this is where the Oprah connection enters the picture. many people began asking why Oprah's name was suddenly being mentioned alongside Jay-Z, Beyonce, and the Diddy circle. The answer lies in a resurfacing wave of accusations tied to Oprah, combined with 50 Cent's long history of openly criticizing her. Over the years, 50 has repeatedly claimed that Oprah uses her influence selectively. He accused her of avoiding scrutiny of powerful white men during the height of the Me Too movement, music, while placing heavy focus on black entertainers. He frequently pointed to her documentary work on R. Kelly, music, contrasting it with her past association with Harvey Weinstein. And on a more personal level, 50 never forgot that Oprah once refused to interview him. To his supporters, this history explains why her name is now being trolled into the conversation, and why they believe this unfolding situation may be bigger than just one individual.
Oprah Epstein, he was running with that whole crew. They want to know how we're going to do it, how the public is going to take him. Is the public going to let him back in? And the public is not. The public is already canceling him. I don't believe the industry has canceled him yet. All those people who went to those Diddy parties, not one of them had came out and denounced what he has done. I haven't heard one of them. I have not heard one person denounce, well, man, let God handle it. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here with that. If that was your daughter, would you let God handle it? All those people, they ain't denounced him. They ain't definitely, they can't come forward and say, yo, I support him. Because it would mess up their brand. It would mess up their brand. Jay-Z. We the only one could call each other Sean. Jay is the only one could call me Sean. I'm the only one could call him Sean. Get the hell out of here. If that ain't no fun boy stuff. But you ain't had not one person, brother, not one person sit there, denounce what he did, or come forward.
But the story goes even deeper. Over the years, accusations have resurfaced regarding how Oprah Winfrey treated several black celebrities. Music, Ludacris, once claimed that Oprah edited his interview responses and lectured him about rap music while promoting a film he starred in. Dave Chappelle later said that during his interview, Oprah pushed him to frame his struggles as paranoia instead of acknowledging the intense pressure he was facing at the time. Monique accused Oprah of helping blacklist her after Precious, while Taraji P. Hennon revealed that she was severely underpaid for her role in The Color Purple. 50 Cent has publicly supported many of these claims, often pointing to what he sees as a pattern of selective accountability. Then there are the controversies surrounding the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. Incidents reported in 2007 and 2011 drew criticism and media scrutiny. In more recent years, online conspiracy theories have attempted to link Oprah to missing children's stories or secret locations. Most of those claims were later proven false, but the controversy has lingered, casting a shadow over her public image. Now, with 50 Cent already targeting one powerful mogul, music through a widely viewed documentary, fans believe Oprah could be next, especially after 50 suggested that some of the industry figures he plans to expose are people no one would expect. In Hollywood, connections are rarely accidental. And in this story, the paths of Oprah, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Diddy cross far more often than many realize. Oprah has interviewed Beyonce multiple times, often expressing deep admiration. She has praised the Carters for their business success and cultural influence. Jay-Z has appeared at Oprah-affiliated events, while Oprah has publicly supported several of his projects. Beyonce has also performed at high-profile charity events tied to Oprah's network. Individually, these moments may seem harmless, but together, fans believe they form a larger pattern, one that's now being re-examined as old alliances come back into the spotlight.
All right,
Beyonce didn't want to speak and does not speak to Brandy. And the truth of the matter is, there she go back there with Monica and Kelly, and there go Patti LaBelle, and then there goes Solange, all right? And there's a reason why Solange is around as well. Because if you guys don't know, for a while, Solange and Beyonce actually were not on speaking terms, but they're back talking now, they're back cool, and basically Solange is around to keep Beyonce spiritually protected. Solange is the spiritual protector of that family. Don't get it twisted. Mama Tina is powerful. Solange is the most powerful list. You better ask some damn body. All right. Now, the reason why Beyonce ain't came to speak to Brandy, baby, is because Beyonce does not talk to anyone who used to sleep with Jay-Z. Okay. Whether you guys know it or not, and I have to say allegedly, right? Jay-Z and Brandy used to talk back in the day. And by back in the day, I mean like late 90s type stuff, right? Brandy always kept Jay-Z on the low back in the day because, quite honestly, he was too ugly to be out in public with. I'm just keeping it real. To claim him publicly, he was too ugly back in the day. Now, when you try to search up pictures of Jay-Z and Brandy, you will find... Hold up, let me see. Hold up. Let me see, because I thought I had a picture of them two. Brandy and Jay-Z. Now this would have been from let's see, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Brandy and Jay-Z. Okay, there we go. Now this picture of them was in 2002. All right, and this was I think was at one of her album release parties, if I'm not mistaken. This was a year after Moesha rap, because Moesha went off air in 2001. Yes, he was dealing with Beyonce at the time as well, and Blue Cantrell. He was, let me tell you, Jay-Z was laying it low and spreading it wide. Jay-Z was one of those dudes in the industry that, you know, you messed around with. He piped you down. But before he was really him, you did not claim him publicly because he was just simply too ugly. It was what it was. But Jay-Z was in love with Brandy then. He's not in love with her now, but he still has love and feelings towards her. He's one of those people that feels like once he done had you and once he done loved you, he always feels like he has like possession over you. Jay-Z is one of those kind of men, baby. I don't know if they told you. Jay-Z is extremely jealous, extremely controlling, and extremely possessive. That's another reason why. Hold up. Where'd the picture go? Where'd the picture go? That's another reason why Beyonce up here. Wait. Anyway, y'all get the point. That's another reason why Beyonce, over the years, a lot of the music that she's made, it's always been with him. A lot of the remixes, it's always been with him or somebody that he approves of her to work with. Okay. Jay-Z was so damn controlling, he didn't even want her father, talking about Matthew Knowles now, he didn't want her father managing her anymore, and he stepped in. And if y'all notice, when Jay-Z stepped in as Beyonce's manager, the music changed, everything changed, and the money started to get effed up. But that's another story for another day. We're not getting on that right now. We sticking with Brandy and Jay-Z right now. So they started messing around on the low in the 90s. Even to the early 2000s, they were still messing around. I'm not exactly sure which year the relationship officially ended, but just know that Jay-Z was just basically good for, that was what he gave. He gave big, I don't know no other way to put it, but he was like, for the ladies that's watching, you know, like if you ever dealt with like a tall, ugly with big pipe, you went to him to get piped down, but you would not like ever like claim him like that because he was just super ugly. It was what it was. And before he really blew up, didn't nobody want to be seen with him like that. It is what it is. And quite frankly, Jay-Z dated a lot of your favorite female stars from back in the day, but they would not.
Diddy and Jay-Z also shared a long-standing business relationship. Over the years, they collaborated on music, appeared together at exclusive events, and moved through the same luxury circles. Increased. Each time discussions turned to the so-called elite circle around Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce were inevitably mentioned. Not because they've been accused of any specific wrongdoing, but because of proximity. The same rooms, the same award shows, the same investment groups, the same private after parties, the same inner layers of Hollywood power. In an industry built on connections, simply being close can be enough to draw attention. And as old alliances are re-examined, Fans believe those once considered untouchable are now finding themselves under a much brighter spotlight.
But when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
You're gonna let him say that. Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
He has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. After that, he got some shit. He started drinking. His pictures with him. He thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
You didn't see.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, it was like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's crazy. He just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation, bro. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh wow! So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. Proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy a lot.
That was a real suburb question.
I know, right? Proximity.
Hold on. Proximity.
Proximity. That's the SAT hit grade word. I had to learn that.
Do you think he knew all of the shit that was going on? Yeah, that was like a...
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it...
Like I said...
No matter how you answer that, you snitching.
Yeah, exactly. that was a nice kind of question.
You asked the question like a fan.
Hey, I grew up with white people, but one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
But it's a great question.
Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro.
He said, damn, they wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Lechimendewa.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Because I know Branson. That's the one I pronounce.
That's the Branson lifestyle. You're gonna be outside.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way. Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up.
I don't got that in my past. I'm not.
Everybody got a little bit.
Look,
like,
I took.
Not that it's real enough.
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better or to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink.
This is why the 50 Cent's warning hits differently. It isn't rooted in random gossip. It's built on connections. Connections that link Oprah's long-running controversies, Diddy's scandals, Jay-Z's silence, and Beyonce's carefully maintained perfection into one fragile network. Music. And 50 has made one thing clear. Hollywood's power structures no longer intimidate him. He wants to break them open. Many assumed the Diddy documentary would only impact Diddy, but that assumption was wrong. The aftershock is much larger. Anyone who was close to him, worked with him, attended his private events, or moved within his inner circle is now being watched more closely. That includes artists, music producers, models, actors, and even political figures. When 50 Cent said more documentaries were coming, panic, music quietly spread. Not necessarily because people are guilty, but because they know 50 digs deep and don't care how powerful someone is. Behind the scenes, lawyers began re-examining old cases. Publicists started rewriting statements. Celebrities stopped showing up at certain events. Many quietly deleted photos connected to Diddy, music, and those silent moves only fueled more suspicion because now the public wants answers. Who knew what? Who saw the warning signs? And who chose to ignore them? Music, The documentary revealed that Diddy displayed a long pattern of extreme behavior. Music, multiple celebrities later admitted they had noticed hints of it over the years, which leads to one unavoidable question. Who else knew, and who else looked the other way? And as long as 50 Cent keeps pulling at these threads, fans believe more names may be forced into the light.
The 50 Cent Diddy doc. First and foremost, we've been talking about this thing, Jack, for going on 2 years now. And once again, thank you for even being, I guess you could say, a beacon during this whole conversation, as far as kind of spreading light on a lot of things that go down in the industry that, you know, the normal person may not even see or hear about, that happens in the day-to-day. Did you really think 50 Cent, when he first mentioned it, that there was an actual documentary being worked on?
Well, see, this is the thing. I can believe that it was happening. At what purpose? See, and that's the thing. Like, my opinion about all of this stuff is so much different than your average person's, and my outlook is so much different than your average person's. Did I believe that it was possible? Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be able to do a documentary? Why wouldn't he be able to bring in Alexandria to come and put this together? Like, the woman who directed this, she doesn't even seem to have a background in hip hop at all.
That makes sense.
So it's like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. I mean, for crying out loud, Diddy sent him freak off videos.
True. Very true.
Interviews
Very true.
about it.
Did you feel that just 50 Cent's name being attached to it again? These are two, as everyone knows, the three names in hip hop are Jay-Z, Diddy, 50 Cent when it comes to the status of where you could get as a business or a brand.
I guess so.
So for the top three individuals, for one to go at the other and release this doc, I don't know, what does that say to again, I keep asking about the hip hop state of things. What does that say to hip hop? Like, are we our own downfall? I guess I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It all depends on what you consider hip hop. Like, I don't consider any of this debauchery, any of this animalistic crap. I don't consider any of this hip hop. I grew up in hip hop. You know, I know what hip hop culture is, and it's none of this stuff that people are selling.
I mean, when did it stop being hip hop? We're going to go through the documentary itself, but when did it stop?
It stopped being hip hop when it became corporatized. It stopped being hip hop when certain groups of people saw that they could use it to influence the mass public. When people saw how influential hip hop was, it became very clear. Once upon a time, not long ago, where people wore pajamas and lived life, you know, the laws were stern and justice stood, and people were behaving like they ought to good. There lived a little boy, and he was misled by another little boy, and this is what he said: "Me and you, kid, we go make some cash, robbing old folks and making a dash."
Come on.
Like, they did the job, and money came with ease, but one couldn't stop us like he had a disease. He robbed another and a sister and a brother. Tried to rob a man who was a...
Jay-Z, who attended parties, Beyonce, music, appeared at events connected to the same network. Oprah publicly praised several figures' music, who are now under scrutiny. Again, this does not mean any of them were involved in wrongdoing, but it does mean their names continue to surface in the same conversations. And in today's climate, that alone is enough for the internet to start paying close attention. Music, 50 Cent has warned that this is only the beginning. He has said more names are coming. And since he already went after one of the most powerful moguls in hip-hop, many believe his next target, if there is one, would have to be just as influential. People often ask why 50 Cent is the one leading this wave of exposure. The answer is simple. He doesn't fear losing access. Jay-Z, Diddy, Oprah, and Beyonce built power by forming alliances, by staying connected, by protecting their public images. But 50 Cent built his power differently. His strength comes from independence. He doesn't rely on Hollywood approval to stay relevant. His television empire operates on its own. His businesses stand on their own. His fame survives with or without the backing of major networks. That's why he can say publicly what others only whisper privately. Music, that's why he can challenge celebrities long considered untouchable. And that's why his documentary sent shock waves through the industry. If 50 Cent was willing to go after someone as powerful as Diddy, fans believe he wouldn't hesitate to expose anyone else, especially if he believes the public deserves the truth. He spent his entire career embracing conflict. From rappers to producers to billionaires, 50 has gone head-to-head with anyone who stood in his way. Music, and most importantly, he usually comes prepared. He backs his claims with interviews, court records, investigations, and verified music testimony. That's why his supporters trust him. He doesn't need to exaggerate. In fact, he gains more power by saying everything out loud. That makes him dangerous in a system built on silence. So when 50 Cent said that Jay-Z and Beyonce should pay attention because they might be next, music, people didn't dismiss it. They didn't laugh it off. They believed him. Because when 50 speaks, history suggests he means exactly what he says.
Say this in front of a bunch of people in the studio. Me and him got into it that night. And we started snapping and joking and talking to each other. When he said about Danny the Kane, he said they gonna keep on messing with me, or he said the word effing with me. They gonna keep on effing with me, and I'm gonna when you hear people saying this, this is crazy. This is so crazy right now because I heard him say it. But to know that he was doing it, it's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother light right now, bro. He said it. I'ma drug them out and pimp them out to my they keep with me. And he was talking about Danny the Kane as a group. He didn't single out any one of them. But to hear that he did it, that's just crazy to me. We had a big argument and we started talking about each other and what had and what he didn't have. He was calling me, yo, you broke cop. This like, you ain't got nothing I ain't got. I got a watch, you got a watch. I got a ring, you got a ring, I got a chain, I got a home. We went through that whole like that. We start talking about his teeth. You understand? I start talking about, him, his breath, everything. We was going at each other. That next day at his house, he said, yo, Gene, he called me upstairs. And he said, yo, Gene, I couldn't talk to him like that no more in front of people and everything like that. Because I know me and Puff go back from the same gang since 89, 90 when he got jumped in it. You understand? We go back way to that time. So I knew him. You understand? He was like a little nephew. So when he started talking to him, I said, yo, listen here, bro. You don't say shit about me, I won't say shit about you. If you say something, you open up your mouth about me, I'm going to talk about all your green dentures and all that like that. We're not playing them games, bro. You say, all right, Gene, cool. You understand? People don't understand, bro. The love and the power I had, not only in Harlem, Queens, I had dudes all over New York City, from the Bronx, everybody that had mad love for me because I looked out. You understand? I made sure that people needed knowledge and information on certain things. They had a lot of people that was on parole that was in the music business. I used to save guys by letting them know their rights and what the people could and couldn't do to them. So I had a lot of genuine love from a lot of dudes. You don't be around a K. Slay for over 20-something years, a Chaz Williams over 20-something years, and be some kind of sucker, and was right next to him, doing all their functions, all their situations and everything like that, running security for them, making sure that people were safe in the whole 9 yards. You understand? I had my man Pete, I had people calling me, yo, look out for Nate Dogg when he come to New York. Look out for Mac 10, look out for Exhibit, doing stuff like that, Good Brothers and everything like that. So what I'm trying to say to you is that, bro, is that to be at that type of status and be that type of person and do the things that I did, you understand? I had to have people who were in that lifestyle.
Fans are now asking whether this moment could shift public trust in the entertainment elite. Some wonder if the next documentary will impact careers, reputations, and long-standing partnerships. Others believe it will finally bring hidden truths into the open. And some think it will unleash total chaos. But one thing everyone agrees on is this: 50 Cent isn't finished. His warning wasn't a joke. It wasn't a rumor. It was a promise. And now the question is simple. When this new footage is finally released, will Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Oprah be ready for what the world is about to see? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. And until then, fam, keep it